I just got done finishing manga chapters 49 through 98 for Beastars, which should contain all the moments for the anime season 2, and I thought, hey, why not do a video on the 10 most shocking moments that happened in season 2? Now, of course, if you haven't read the manga and you do not want to be spoiled, I would recommend clicking off this video right now. But with that said, guys, give this video a like, share, subscribe, and I should also mention that these moments are in no particular order. They're just the 10 most shocking moments. Let's get right into it. Moment number 1. Legoshi eats Lewis's foot. What? During his climactic battle in Season 2, Legoshi expels most of his energy and is battered due to his repeated slams against the concrete. Although he buys himself some time to catch his breath, he soon realizes, with the helpful insight of Lewis, that he needs a quick energy boost to combat the fearsome monster that he finds himself in a battle with. Lewis, thusly, offers his leg to Legoshi to unlock his dormant, predatory instincts, which allows Legoshi to power up in ways he has never experienced and defeat his assailant. But will this intake of meat corrupt his pursuit of establishing a friendly relationship with other herbivores via the demon that compels him to give in to his carnivore urges? We'll just have to wait and see. Moment number 2. Riz, the bear, killed Tem. Upon crossing the 200 centimeter height threshold, bears are required to take pills to mitigate their strength. The side effects, however, are quite severe, and after developing a genuine friendship with Tem, Riz believes himself capable of taking himself off the medication, but this turns out to be a huge mistake, as his predatory instincts commandeer his ability to rationalize the gravity of killing what he thought was his best friend. To cope with this transgression, Riz fabricates an alternate scenario in which Tem condones the killing as a sign of true friendship. It is extremely easy to point the finger at Riz for not taking his force-limiting pills due to the demise of Tem. However, like everyone else in Beastars, Riz proves to be a troubled character whom is struggling to figure out who he really is. He may have moments where he is absolutely terrifying and his actions are objectionable. Nevertheless, underneath this tough exterior lies a soft-hearted individual who wants to be seen under a different light, rather than being painted as a gruesome, killing machine. Shocking moment number 3. Legoshi's grandfather is a Komodo dragon. That's right, folks. Legoshi is 1/4 Komodo dragon. Turns out his grandma did the sticky icky with Michelangelo from the Ninja Turtles. Actually, it was with this guy. Legoshi's grandfather, Gosha, is a bit of an enigma at this point, but we do know that he had an interspecies relationship with a gray wolf. This is a crucial bit of information, because as we come to know, interspecies relationships only became legal 10 years ago, meaning their marriage was done behind closed doors and subsequently hidden from the public. Also, even though interspecies relationships are permitted in the given timeline, the vast majority of animals marry within their own species. This seems to be another instance of subtext on Paru Itagaki's part, particularly for Japanese couples, as marriages with foreigners is only around 3.49%. As a reference point, newlyweds in the US intermarry at around 17%, which is significantly higher, but still reinforces the notion that a vast majority stay within their own race, which is not a bad thing. People should marry whom they deem to be acceptable partners based on love and compassion. And I don't believe Paru is admonishing those who choose to marry within their own race. However, if I am to be bold, I believe Paru is encouraging young adults to step outside their comfort zones, like Legoshi and Haru, to determine if there is someone who deeply cares about them from another race. This harkens to a reoccurring theme of reevaluating our own unconscious biases, as they may have direct or indirect implications on our lives. Furthermore, as science continues to dismantle the biological notion of race, it is becoming more apparent that physical differences we see in one another account for a minuscule amount of genetic diversity. After all, we share 99.9% of our DNA with one another. Beastar's situation is vastly different from that of humans, of course, as different species have to be careful not to hurt one another. But this is the point. If a carnivorous wolf can fall in love with its prey, why can't humans eschew their predispositions in pursuit of finding the best partner? Certainly makes you think. Shocking moments number 4, 5, and 6. Lewis becomes the Shishigumi boss, Lewis eats meat, and Lewis leaves the Shishigumi. Toward the end of Season 1, we saw Lewis blast the head off of the old Shishigumi boss, leaving the role vacant for an eventual successor. With limited suitors for the position, the Lions of the Shishigumi decided to bestow Lewis with the prestigious position, with one condition: he must consume meat. A tough pill to swallow, as it were. However, Lewis's mental fortitude and sheer determination willed him to gulp it down and attain the role of Shishigumi boss. But all is not well, primarily because his digestive system is not equipped to handle the meat like a carnivore's would. Hence, as a result, his overall health deteriorates, resulting in fits of vomiting and frequent consumption of energy drinks due to his lethargy. In addition, while the role of Shishigumi boss allows Lewis to wield considerable power and influence in the criminal underworld, it never satisfied his needs. Perhaps due to his realization that true strength cannot be measured via physical feats, but through mental resolve and adaptability. Something he saw firsthand when Legoshi pushed himself to his absolute limits in his life or death battle towards the end of Season 2. Shocking moment number 7. Kibi has his arm torn off. Carnivores possess an incredible amount of strength, especially in comparison to their fellow herbivores. And if the carnivores do not exercise caution, they can accidentally rip off an herbivore's limbs. Such was the fate for Kibi, the anteater in the drama club. This moment was a pivotal moment in the manga, as tensions between the carnivores and herbivores was already mounting, and this one accidental incident strained them to the point of having the school segregate the carnivores from the herbivores. Which leads us to our 8th most shocking moment. Cherryton Academy becomes segregated. In my previous Beastars video, I put forth the notion that numerous herbivores and carnivores engaged in aversive racism. And it's not so much a conscious decision, but rather a result of unconscious norms that are imbued from one's social surroundings and society at large. Therefore, I wouldn't classify it as bad per se, unless it manifests outwardly to an extent that would place the opposing group at an economic, sociological, or psychological disadvantage, which I would argue happened prior to the incident with Kibi. Tem's fateful encounter with Riz, for example, revealed his true feelings towards the brown bear, whereas he previously put on a front that they were copacetic with one another. Additionally, numerous carnivores feel maligned in terms of the social strata, with herbivores occupying the top spot, leaving the carnivores in the inferior position, which causes resentment towards the herbivores, or self-loathing about their inability to control their own primal urges. Also, if a carnivore finds himself on the predatorial offender list, finding a job becomes next to impossible. The choice of colleges is severely limited, and the offender is not permitted to marry a different species. These constraints, among many others, propel some carnivores to join crime syndicates to obviate society's restrictions, which further perpetuates the notion that carnivores are quote-unquote evil creatures and need to be managed with strict rules. It's an endless cycle of implicit and explicit hatred that will only get worse with the current restrictions in place at Cherryton Academy. Shocking moment number 9. Legoshi asks Haru to marry him. Ah, do you hear wedding bells? Legoshi finally mustered the courage to confess his true feelings towards Haru by proposing marriage. But the feeling doesn't seem to be mutual, at least on the surface. Now we know Haru is developing affections for Legoshi, as noted by the hotel scene in Season 1. However, just like the carnivores have natural urges to eat meat, herbivores have inborn fears of carnivores, which is why she naturally gravitated to Lewis to assuage her fears of dying before her natural expiration. But despite keeping Legoshi at an arm's length distance, which, for her arms isn't too far, her afflictions for the Grey Wolf begin to proliferate faster than she could ever imagine. Perhaps the two will end up together after all. But as we come to know at the start of Season 3, things appear a lot more complicated than they are at school. And shocking moment number 10, and for me the most shocking moment in the manga so far, animals sell their body parts for cash. Turns out the meat in the black market comes from some unscrupulous practices. Who knew? One of which involves animals voluntarily selling their body parts for money. The reason this is the most shocking moment of the manga that constitutes Season 2 is because one gang member wishes to purchase the gonads of a crocodile up for auction. I've seen situations in other shows that resemble this, but the method in which it was portrayed in Beastars sent chills down my spine. Even more so than the Black Alley Market in Season 1 when the hobo was trying to sell his fingers to Legoshi and Bill. To be sure, Paro Itagaki is a damn talented mangaka for eliciting any and all emotions possible at the drop of a dime. Just absolutely brilliant stuff. Goddamn, I'm gonna be having nightmares about this scene for quite some time. And that's it, guys. The top 10 most shocking moments of Season 2 of Beastars. If there's a moment that you feel that was more shocking than the 10 that I listed, let me know in the comments. And if you guys have any other ideas for Beastar videos I should do in the future, let me know in the comments. And let's hope Season 2 lives up to all of our expectations. I'm very excited and can't wait till it starts. But until next time, I'll catch you guys on the flip side.